I always forget that the chat has extra info. I am just thinking that investigate and examine will give it to me in the tooltip, you know, like that pops up here, and that's enough information. Yeah, you're right. I forget to look at that. Increase the text size in chat. Oak. Okay. Use on this. Let's see. Yeah, good idea. Yeah, the 14 is great. And let me make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to make it more prominent, too, so that I will remember to look at it. I don't know, Episcocat. He might have fainted right away. Alright, so let's look at this. Normal log. Use the logs right here. Got it. And then use this over here. Yes, we did it. Alright. So now, this is done, and this is done. I just need to go get the head. So I gotta go back down and get the head of the statue. Where did I leave that jerk? Oh, there it is. Oh no, the head is broken. Do you know where the statue's head is? It fell off when the statue dropped through the ceiling. I've been keeping it safe since then. Try not to lose it. Wow, okay, so he had it. What a jerk. Let me examine this guy. Very shifty looking and sunburned. Yep. I don't trust you, Lazim. Can you help me with this pedestal I found? What pedestal? It's on the floor above this. It looks sort of important. Really? Did it have some sort of recess on the top? Now that you mention it, it did. In that case, perhaps you should try using the head of the statue on it. Do you know where the head is? You're carrying it. Been at the Asgardian Ale a little too much, have we? Wow. I love how they inserted dialogue to compensate if you asked him that question after you already had the head. That's pretty funny. You know what would help me? I don't know if you can do this, but it would be cool if, like, I could color code some of the stuff in the chat. So, like, you know, some games will do that where if you get quest information, it'll be one color. And then right here where it says, like, your Silverhawk boots grant you 372 agility experience, maybe I could change the color of experience gains so that the text wouldn't, like, all blend together in this field, right? I don't know if that's an option. Not, it doesn't look like it. Okay, fine. Alright, let's go ahead and use this on this. The head almost fits, but it looks too small. Okay. Mold the clay. No. Here. Use the clay on the head. Nothing happens. Okay. Examine it. Like a camel. Use it on this. Looks too small. Okay. Use the clay on that. You press the clay into the hollow and make a positive mold of it. Okay. Use this on... Well, wait a minute. What is this thing? Camel mold. Examine it. A positive clay mold of a camel's head. Oh, okay, cool, Sir Theodore. Settings, gameplay, chat, and social. Okay, let's see what I can do. Settings, gameplay, chat, and social. Chat customization. Here we go. Custom message colors. Right. Yeah. It doesn't really let you change, like, the experience, or anything like that into different colors. Oh, Morbent Fell wishes to trade with me. Oh, thank you. You have some more clay. I appreciate that. Okay. Alright, so I made this mold. Do I need to fire this up or something? Okay, let's see. Use this in here? I don't know, that's not the right thing to do. No. No, that's not right. Okay, let's see. I have a camel mold. And mold the clay. No, I want this mold. No, I just pushed the clay in there. Let me see. Use this on that? No. I put clay into the impression, and then I made a mold. But I tried to use the clay on the head, and it doesn't let you, like, add to it. All I can do is mold it with my ring mold, and that doesn't feel right either. Nothing happens. Alright, so what I need to do is... a positive clay mold of a camel's head. I think I... Don't you need to fire your molds? Or maybe I'm not thinking correctly, but before they're good to go? But either way, I just thought, like, I could add clay onto this head until it was the right size. But it's like, let's go talk to the guy again. Maybe he can give me some extra info. I made it out of granite. So I could go get some bigger granite, I guess. Oh, wrong way. We're going for it. Alright, I'm going to go over here. And I'll talk to the guy and see what he says. No, he's not going to help. Okay. Oh, but I can't get out. There's a sand pile. Oh, can I climb this? I can get out. That's convenient. Great. I made it. Let's go get some granite. I'm not really getting very much granite. I'm getting these, like... Here we go. What'd I get? 5. I need a 10, right? Maybe I can combine, like, a small one with this one? With some clay? Okay. Carve a shape to fit the pedestal. Alright, so hopefully it's bigger now, and will work. Yeah, I talked to him, Sir Theodore, and he was like, you don't have enough quest, like, tasks done or whatever, and I was like, alright, cool, I'm out. Alright, let's roll. Click on the door. Oh my god. Morbid Fellow always scares me when he dresses like that. Alright, use this bigger head on there. It fits exactly. Oh god, here it comes. But it's still a nice temple, isn't it? Wait, what's this? Ha ha ha, you believed me, didn't you? I would never desert my lord in the desert. Always sweet when you see desert and desert. I mean, that's gotta be intentional, right? That we're in a desert and I'd never desert or desert my lord. It's awesome. Oh boy. More of these ice blocks. She's a specialist. Can I just say, I don't remember these colorful gems here before. All the globes, blood, ice, shadow, smoke are lit. Oh, because I solved all the puzzle pieces. Okay. Alright. Pass through the magic barrier. I'm through. Oh my, I've made it. I walk through it easily. Okay. Alright, everybody, here we go. Who knows what's gonna happen? I got plenty of cake, though. Right. So, the, shadow was the brazier room. The smoke was the smelter. Okay, and let's see. Pile of bones. Yeah, just random indeed. No, nothing to worry about. Can I examine the pile of bones? They used to be alive. Yes. Yes, they did. Alright. Climb down the ladder. I won't keep it in mind. I'm gonna purge it from my memory. Talk to the bone guard. What's up, dude? Greetings, young man. Yes, I'm a young man, and you're an old bone guard. Perhaps you could help me with my predicament. What's wrong? I am trapped in this form against my will. It has been a long and painful struggle to even regain control over my own mind. Wow, that's deep, man. Who's trapped you in this form? She has. She was my rival before we came to this world, and she supported that upstart Zamorak in his quest to be a god. It angers me to think at how she tricked me into slavery. Yes, I understand, but who is she? Her name is Enakhra, and she is the one who made this accursed temple and this bone guard that I'm trapped in. Now, since you show some interest in my situation, will you help me? Yeah, of course I'll help you, but first of all, do you have any treasure? So it's interesting to discuss, like, at this point, through the history of RuneScape. So first of all, Zamorak did not begin as a god and only ascended into godhood at some point, and this camel head dude represents... he came from another world and was a god there, or something like it. It's Enakhra. Okay, thank you. But it's also funny when you think about, like... yeah, exactly, Morbin. The beginning, like, the character's motivation, the player character's motivation, does that change over time? Because, like, right now, I'm just this unbelievably, you know, blind opportunist who's like, look, I'll do anything for treasure. I don't care which god I'm helping or who dies in the process. Just show me the treasure, right? And it feels like this commentary about, you know, heroes that we have seen plop up again and again throughout the game. Most notably, was it Hero's Quest when you helped that evil train child who's grown up in Daemonheim? You know, like, and they're making fun of all the people playing MMOs in that kind of, like, meta way, with their ridiculous names and their, like, you know, objectives to just run through and do damage. But now they're making fun of just, like, I don't know, adventuring overall. So it's fun to see how, like, if this is a very early quest, you know, if the character becomes more soulful than this, he's very, like, or she or whoever your player character is, you know, you're confronting this old thing that's been trapped here for 1,000 years, and you're just like, yeah, give me the treasure. Let's see, so the mercenary way indeed, right? He's not a god, says Amy, but he's from a faction that didn't support Zamorak. I do wonder what that means, right? And it's like, I'm in the desert, so I'm kind of... I see a camel head guy. I don't know why, but I'm... And Icthalin was mentioned earlier in the quest, so I'm starting to think about not only the Majorat, but the desert gods, right? The different gods and goddesses of the desert. But now I'm getting it all confused in my head. Ixalarin was a jackal head. Yeah, you know, Arbster, I'm trying to just figure out, like, I'm playing RuneScape mostly for the story, so I'm just trying to figure things out. And I'm wondering, am I getting it twisted? Like, I thought the Majorat were, like, the liches, that I've been working with, right? That started, I found the one frozen in the Fremennik lands, and then I fought that big lich that was leading an army. So he just... That, Acthanikos just likes the deserts and camels, but he's not a desert god. And he is a Majorat? I don't know. I'll find out. I was just wondering. Certainly, young man, if you help me, I'll give you a valuable amulet and some of my knowledge. Now, I think Nickman was... my guess is that... okay, so Theodore is saying, yes, that is the Majorat, is, you know, mysterious ancient beings of unknowable power lingering from an ancient bygone age. And we see them, like, hibernating or or doing other things. But Amescut is not associated with the Majorat at all, for example, nor is Ixalan. Now, this amulet, I think... Is this the one that's going to let me talk to camels? That's good enough for me. What do I have to do? Enakhra keeps me trapped in this form with magic. Her hold over me grew weaker over the years, and I began to build a wall to keep her trapped in her own temple forever. Unfortunately, she has strengthened her spells lately, and I can no longer will myself to continue building. I want you to finish building this wall, that we might seal her in this temple forever, where she cannot taint the world with her creations again. Okay, so they're not... And they don't come into contact, but they're not... It's not like the desert gods are Majorat or anything. Okay, curious. Right, I do remember that, Amy. And then... Help me to... I'm just thinking about all of these things and trying to combine them. Oh, thank you, Nickman, for catching those. Star Sand, Crispy? I actually haven't seen that. So, the other question I have is, the Sphinx. The Sphinx in Menaphos is not a desert god, but is old like them? Anyway, I vaguely remember the Sphinx, like, somehow with Ixalan's a little helper, but I don't remember how the Sphinx was associated with the desert gods. Okay, so we don't want this woman to taint the world with her creations again, which are the weapons she tried to make by animating skeletons. Can you tell me more about Enakhra? She is a coward and a despicable traitor. She even supported Zamorak when he tried to become a god. Okay, thank you. Oh, it was Sen Litton told me about the Majorat under a different name. I don't remember Sen Litton. So Zamorak is not a god? Tried but didn't make it? Of course, even though she built a temple for him, he didn't care, and she's been hiding here ever since. She's the ghost of the dead Pharaoh Queen. Oh, okay. Thank you, Amy. Is there anything else you wish to know? Could you tell me more about yourself? I was once a proud mage, and now look at me, trapped inside a bone skeleton and forced to defend my rival's temple. To think I believed her when she said she wanted to become allies and make amends of our rivalry. That two-faced, conniving, backstabbing wretch. Ouch. I suppose it is our nature, after all. Is there anything else you wish to know? About this wall. Where do I get stone? There's a pile of rubble nearby, made of blocks that have fallen from the walls and the ceiling over time. I've been trapped here after several thousand years. Is there anything else you wish to know? Alright, dude, I'll start building. No, it's very fun to try to make heads or tails of it. It's difficult because, like, number one, sometimes I'll do a quest that references the lore, and I won't see it for, like, months. And so I'm spanning, like, 2 years of playing, and then sometimes I do things out of sequence, perhaps. I don't know. But I am trying to figure it out for sure. Once you're finished, the wall will shield me from most of her magic and I'll be free to move once more. Okay, dude, I'll help you. So I like how this is a building quest. They're like, alright, you need to build stuff. Hey, Phenom Rom, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. Okay, I'm going to walk over here and let's see. All right, to help him, I'll rebuild the wall. Okay, so there's rubble. I'll take some rock. Do you think if I built this rock out of, or this wall out of camel heads, it would be okay? Yeah, Amy, it's 20 years, so it's going to take me some time, but I'm having a lot of fun trying to put it together. Can I talk to her? You can't reach her. Alright, then. Let's see. Use it on the wall. Boom, it's in there. Use it on that. Doesn't work. Use it on that. Gotta be just from this rubble. Okay. Looking for it. There we go. Use this on that. I'm gonna have to drop some stuff. Okay, so Crispy, I haven't heard of Star Sand. Is it on Xbox Game Pass? I'm gonna drop this, and I'm gonna drop that, and I'm gonna use this on that. No. Oh, right. I see that. Yeah, let's just get rid of all this stuff. Oh, thank you. Can I use these? Here. Use it on the wall. No. Use it on that. Oh, I gotta trim it? Okay. Oh. Thank you. There we go. Oh, okay. Trimming the wall. This is a fun, like an interesting quest with like all of this stonework that they put in it. I mean, chiseling was always a part of the game, right? That came, like, it wasn't like it was introduced with this quest, was it? Oh, cool, Crispy. Desert Alien World Survival, and you can ride a camel. I love it. Hey, Rick, what's up, my friend? Thanks for stopping by. Absolutely, I love roguelikes, my friend. I'm so glad you enjoy it. I'm gonna keep doing those, my friend. I know. I'm like I'm restoring the temple. I'm like opening up the seals. I feel terrible about this whole process. But that's just how it is. Alright, let me talk to the Bone Guard now. Let's see what he thinks about this. Oh, let me see if I have to chisel it more. Yep. No, what have you done? I chiseled it. You weren't looking. Why is she facing the other way? You deserve it. Like, whatever she's been doing, she's been standing there for 1,000 years. But, I mean, if you let someone, like, build a wall behind your back, you're slipping. The wall's finally built. Thank you. Thank you very much for all your help. I can feel Enakhra's control over me fading. Finally, I can be free from this imprisonment. Alright. Oh, wow, you look cool. After thousands of years, finally, I am no longer her slave. And thanks for your help, young man. Please take this amulet of mine. Wow, what's it do? It allows you to understand the speech of the Ugthonki, my patron animals and other camels. It is also bound to the desert and can thus transport you back to this temple if you wish. Why do I want to come back here? Just to yell at the lady on the other side of the wall? Camel man. He's tall. Uh-oh. What happened? What's this? After so many years, why didn't you just give up? Now my lord will punish you for destroying his weapon. Look at his hands out like that. Haha. In that case, I'm sure Lord Zeros will be happy to intervene. Oh no! Zeros! Is this the old-timey god that we found at the archaeological dig site? That was like the one that predates the, you know, Saradomin and Zamorak?